So how's that double game week squad going for you? For me it's going alright, but these double game weeks always promise so much and are always a little bit disappointing. What's up guys, and welcome to FPL Today in association with FPL Updates, your website for FPL articles, hints and tips, and the website home of FPL Today. My name is JNO and welcome to the show as usual. Today we are doing a preview for Game Week 37, the biggest double game week of the season. But before we get into it, the FPL question of the day is, this is probably the second to last FPL Today in this current format. I'm going to try and continue next year, but we don't know how that will go. I did a video recently over the weekend just explaining my current situation, so this might be the second last time you see FPL Today the way it is currently. So let me know what your favourite part of FPL Today is. Is it the FPL Hotlist? Is it the game week preview where I go over the fixtures? Is it the captain choice and differential? Let me know so I can start planning for next season. And before we get into the FPL hot list, make sure to go check out my Patreon where you can show your support for the channel from $1 a month up, where you can help us grow this channel, get better equipment, have more time to go over the stats and give you even better advice. So let's get straight into it and let's get into the FPL hot list, starting off with the goalkeepers. This part of the show is where I go over the last 4 game weeks, look towards the next 4 to 6 fixtures and decide whether we should be looking at certain players and thinking about putting them into our side. We start off with the goalkeepers, and the goalkeeper list starts with Peter Cech in 3rd place, just behind Willy Caballero, who I believe Man City have easier fixtures than Arsenal do. And then we have Fraser Forster in the number 1 spot, purely because Fraser Forster got a lot of points this weekend. When you have a team with a goalkeeper of his capabilities, which could get clean sheets and save points, that is where the big points could lie for you in the last couple of games of the season. Fraser Forster comes in at 5 million. In the last 4 appearances he's had, he's got 2 clean sheets and conceded 7 goals, making 14 saves in total, but one of those saves was a penalty. His next fixtures are Middlesbrough and Manchester United in Game Week 37, with Stoke at home in Game Week 38. We then look at the defenders, and we are keeping Maya Yoshida at the number 1 spot above Nacho Monreal, who you might already have because of Game Week 36's double game week. And then Marcos Alonso has proven in the Chelsea-Middlesbrough game that he is still a very important defender in FPL. I went for the differential of Gary Cahill. That's going to haunt me. Either way, Maya Yoshida, because of his price at 4.5 million, comes in above those two, with 4 appearances, getting him 2 clean sheets and 7 goals conceded, just like Fraser Forster, and he has the same fixtures, of course. That's how fixtures work when you play for the same team. We move on to the midfield, and we have Alexis Sanchez dropping to 3rd place because of his blank over the weekend. He still has a fixture in Game Week 36, which we haven't seen play out yet, so keep that in mind. However, he is 3rd after Eden Hazard, who now has a double game week in Game Week 37, and the fixtures look decent. And Kevin De Bruyne jumping up to that top spot because of his amazing performance for Manchester City recently. In the last 4 games, coming in at 10.4 million, he has got 1 goal and 4 assists from 11 attempts on goal, 3 of which have been on target, but he's created 20 chances for his teammates with a goal involvement of 50%. He has Leicester, West Bromwich Albion and Watford left to play. And then finally we get to the forwards, and the forward lineup has changed drastically from last week. And Gabriel Jesus does stay in the top 3 at 3rd place. Jamie Vardy is my random punt pick at number 2, because Jamie Vardy and that Leicester team seem to be trying to prove something. And then we have Diego Costa in 1st place, playing for that Chelsea side that are 1 win away from winning the league. Maybe he won't do that well in Game Week 38 because Chelsea might have won and secured the title by that point. But at 10.4 million, in the last 4 game weeks, he's got 3 goals, 1 assist, 12 attempts, 4 of which have been on target, shot accuracy of 33.3%, a goal conversion of 25% and a goal involvement of 40%, with West Bromwich Albion, Watford and Sunderland as the last 3 fixtures for Chelsea. You can see him winning the title now. So that wraps up the hot list for today. Is there anyone I've missed? Make sure to put that down in the comments down below so everyone else can see if there's some random player that I've completely ignored, like say Kevin De Bruyne from last week, that everyone should be looking at. So we get into the part of the show where we look at the fixture list for game week 37. This could be a bit of a long one because there's a lot of fixtures this game week. We are going to try and talk about fixtures for the same team close to each other though. So we're starting off with Chelsea and their first game against West Brom. This game is for the title. If Chelsea win it, they win the title. So the Chelsea players will be up for this game. But like I said, it's always hard to pick where the points are going to come from. And you could be very disappointed having Chelsea players who aren't scoring while everyone else is. Who was disappointed with Hazard over game week 36, for instance. This could also affect their second game in the game week. If they win the title at West Brom, will they really perform to their best of abilities when they go to play Watford? West Brom are also 8th at the moment, but they are 13 points behind Everton at 7th. So West Brom don't really have anything to play for apart from maybe keeping Leicester at bay from taking their 8th place finish. But that is about all they have to play for. But say they don't win the title at West Brom, they then have a game at Stamford Bridge against Watford. If Chelsea don't beat West Brom, they're going to want to win the title at Stamford Bridge. So there could be a big performance in this one as well. And Watford, again, another one of those teams that don't really have much to play for. We now look at Man City's games for this double game week, and their first game is against Leicester. A Champions League berth is on the line, and it is Man City's to lose at the moment. If they just make sure they do what they need to do, they will be playing Champions League football next season. However, Leicester seem to have a point to prove since Ranieri's gone and Shakespeare's gone back to the kind of tactics they were playing last year. So Leicester look like a side that, despite not having anything to play for, still want to win games. Both teams have double game weeks, but most people will be focusing on the Man City players, so maybe a cheeky Leicester differential could help out your overall rank come the end of the season. Then Man City have another home game against West Brom. Not an easy week for West Brom. They could maybe be deflated after a loss to Chelsea at home. Kevin De Bruyne's reminded everyone what he is capable of, despite the fact that a good number of us had forgotten to mention him last game week. Jesus was picked last game week, but will there be rotation? De Bruyne looks pretty nailed on, so maybe De Bruyne is the safest choice, but if everyone's played their wildcard already, can you bring him in? We then go on to a Sunderland-Swansea game. Neither team with a double game week, but Swansea fighting for survival, and Sunderland proving that when the pressure isn't on, their players can actually get FPL points, so could a cheeky Sunderland pick help you out? That would be a bit outside of the box thinking, but Sigurdsson looks like a potential good choice for the run-in for the end of the season, with Swansea needing to pick up points. We then go to Arsenal with their double game week, and we've got Arsenal versus Stoke at Stoke. It's not mathematically certain, but Stoke should be safe as long as the teams below them don't win all of their games. So Stoke really don't have much to play for themselves. Arsenal, depending on their result against Southampton, could get 75 points with 4 wins, which would get them Champions League football, potentially, depending on what the teams above them do. So Arsenal need to go for the victory in this one. But the Man United game showed maybe the points will come from somewhere other than the likes of Sanchez and Mesut Ozil. And then Arsenal have Sunderland. Like I said, Sunderland, now they don't have the pressure on them. Maybe they can perform, but surely Arsenal will be fighting for that Champions League berth. We then have another game with no double game week teams in it, and it's West Ham versus Liverpool. Let's not forget Liverpool. I know they don't have a double game week, but now that West Ham are safe, they may take their foot off the gas, and Liverpool are still fighting for Champions League football themselves. A clever pick from the Liverpool team could boost you up those rankings. We then go on to Tottenham with their double game weeks, and the first game they are playing is against Manchester United, also a double game week team. Spurs have to hope Chelsea slip up for them to even get close to winning the title. Chelsea only need 3 points from 3 games. Can't see them not doing it. By the time this Tottenham-Man U game comes along, second place might be all that is possible for Spurs, so they may have nothing to play for. It could even be mathematically possible that they can't get third either. So the Spurs side that everyone has been picking players from may be resigned to the fact that they're second and start taking their foot off the gas, while Man United really need to push forward for that Champions League place, and they want to keep their momentum going because they have Europa Cup potential win there ahead of them. So I've done it as well. I've got Spurs players in. I'm starting to worry a bit about those Spurs players. We then have Leicester versus Tottenham. Same goes for this game. Will Spurs have anything to play for? Leicester generally play quite well against the bigger sides with their formation and tactics, so I'm just a little bit worried about the Spurs players now that they didn't beat West Ham. And then finally we have Southampton versus Manchester United. With the Euro Cup around the corner as well for them, they could rotate quite heavily. If you can pick the right player, with the double game week, they are playing to get Champions League football, so they're definitely going to be playing to win. A shrewd Manchester United choice could be the difference between your season, because if you pick someone that doesn't play, it's going to hurt you, especially if you're using the bench boost this game week 37. Now we move on to the captain poll for the game week, and these are the 3 players that, as of recording this, seem to be the most popular captain choices. And Alexis Sanchez is coming in third, potentially because he didn't score any points over the weekend. Then it's Eden Hazard with Chelsea chasing the title, but top is Gabriel Jesus, despite the fact that Sergio Aguero might be able to feature. The fact that they played together up front for a bit kind of negates the worry a little bit, but Gabriel Jesus does have a decent record as far as when he plays he usually gets FPL points. However, my captain choice is going to be the second place guy at the moment, Eden Hazard at 10.6 million. I just feel like he's that type of player with the pedigree that might push Chelsea over the line and win them that title. In 33 starts, he's scored 15 goals with a goal involvement ratio of 29.9%, 70 attempts on goal with 31 on target, shot accuracy is at 44.3%, goal conversion at 21.4%, 5 assists for the season out of 75 chances created. So Eden Hazard is the guy that my gut is telling me to go with at the moment. But of course, if Alexis Sanchez has a killer game on Wednesday, that could change. We then move on to my differential of the week, and it is the guy at the top. He's still only owned by 7.9%, and that is Gabriel Jesus, coming in at 8.9 million. Out of 7 appearances, 5 of which were starts, he scored 4 goals and got 2 assists with a goal involvement rate of 50%, 16 attempts with 6 on target and a minute per chance of 25.7. He is the kind of guy you can bring on from that Manchester City side and doesn't affect you bringing in the likes of Hazard and Sanchez. And then the red herring to end this episode, the second to last episode of FPL Today in its current format. It's getting a bit emotional now. Red herring is punts and risks. With 2 game weeks left, do you play it safe? Do you take some punts on some people that will score you points that other people will not have? It's hit or miss now, people. Make your choice and you're going to have to live with it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in as always. And let me just say the support you guys have given me this year has been amazing. Now one of the biggest FPL channels on YouTube. And hopefully we can continue to grow at the start of next season. Like I said, the formats may change a little because I may have a little less time. Who knows, I may have more time. That all depends on how things go over the pre-season. But I will always say this, I will always try to keep this channel going because I do love doing this. If you guys want to show me any support, of course there's all the links down in the description. There's also the like button that you can hit to help me out. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so we can keep growing. I've been JNO, you guys have been awesome, and remember, it's all about the game. Just like that.